When Jehoiakim was the king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, went with his army to Judah. Because God's people had sinned against him, God allowed King Nebuchadnezzar to take over the city of Jerusalem. King Nebuchadnezzar told one of his leaders to bring some of the people to Babylon. He wanted boys who were healthy, handsome, and good learners to serve in his palace. Every day, King Nebuchadnezzar gave the boys a special diet. They ate the same food and drank the same drinks that the king ate and drank. 4 of the boys who came from Judah were different than the others. They worshiped the Lord, the one true God. Their names were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The man in charge of the boys gave them new Babylonian names. Daniel's new name was Belteshazzar. Hananiah's new name was Shadrach. Mishael's new name was Meshach. And Azariah's new name was Abednego. Even though Daniel and his friends weren't in Judah anymore, Daniel still wanted to obey God. God's laws told Daniel what he could and could not eat. Daniel was not allowed to eat some of the food that the king gave the boys. Daniel asked the man in charge for permission to eat other foods, but the man in charge was afraid. If you don't eat the king's food, you won't be strong like the other young men. The king might get angry and kill me, he said. Daniel said, "Try this for 10 days. Let us only eat vegetables and drink only water. Then see if we are healthier than the other young men." The guard agreed. At the end of 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked healthier than the young men who had eaten the king's food. After that, the guard allowed Daniel and his friends to keep drinking water and eating vegetables. God was happy that Daniel obeyed him. God blessed Daniel and his friends. He made them wise and smart. They learned lots of new things. God gave Daniel the ability to understand visions and dreams. When their training was over, Daniel and his friends stood before the king. The king saw that they were smarter and stronger than all the other young men. They were even smarter than the wise men who worked for the king. Daniel served the king for many years. Daniel chose to obey God no matter what, and God blessed Daniel and his friends. In an even greater way, Jesus always obeyed God. He came to earth and followed God's plan to save sinners. Jesus never sinned, but he died the death we deserve. Jesus rose from the dead, and those who trust in him receive God's forgiveness and blessing.
Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed that video. Our first video on Daniel as we now study him in Heroes of the Old Testament. If I were to ask you, how many of you know what the word reputation means? Well, reputation simply means how other people think of you. Maybe people who haven't even known you but have heard about you, they hear things that you do and that forms your reputation. What kind of reputation do you think Daniel had after this first lesson? He had a good reputation of someone who is going to follow the Lord's commands, right? And we want a good reputation as well. I want you to listen to this from Ecclesiastes 7:1. A good name is better than a good ointment, and the day of one's death is better than the day of one's birth. Why would somebody's death be better than the day they were born? Well, because people gather and they remember all the things of that person's reputation. And what it's telling you is you come into this world as a pure person, you go through it, and your acts reflect on who you really are. That's your reputation. So when your life's over, are people going to be talking about somebody with a good reputation or a bad reputation? In Proverbs 22:1, it says, "A good name is to be more desired than great wealth. Favor is better than silver and gold." It's something we should aspire to be thought of well. When we try and speak to the Bible to other people, your reputation is going to come into play. Are you a good person? Do you follow what God tells you to do? If you do, and you have that good reputation, your words will mean much more with others. So, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on Daniel. I hope you read your Bible readings and get to understand a little bit better and pass your test. Now I'm going to have a short little video, it's only a minute or so long, on how kids feel about maybe eating their vegetables, and are they really following Daniel's example, or do they maybe not like him? How about you? Do you like to eat the good foods that are good for you, or are you eating junk food? I know Mr. Todd struggles with it. I'm guessing a few of you do too. But let's follow Daniel's plan and see what we can do to honor God by getting a good reputation and spreading the word. Have a great week.
Sometimes I separate some of my food to make it look like I ate more of what I didn't eat. I want what I want.
I don't like beans. I don't really like mushy things.
Oh, I don't like potatoes. I don't like potatoes either.
It's just the flavor.
I hate it.
What I think is healthy is
Fruit.
it has vitamin C that makes you strong and you can dance.
How I can get strong is take a nap.
I love mushrooms.
Me too. Well, I just look at the broccoli. That flavor really pops out to me.
Yeah, I like it, but it makes me throw up in my mouth a little.
What Mom cooks, which I like and you don't
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I like Brussels sprouts. It tastes like burned salad.